When I think about Tomb Raider as
Yeah.
an experience of growing up, I think about a woman riding around London on a bike with a paint can on the back of it,
Yeah.
chased by a bunch of men on other bikes.
And a foxtail. Don't forget a foxtail.
Don't forget about the foxtail.
And I think about like badass London speech too.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was the intro.
That was the intro.
What are we talking about this week then?
Tomb Raider.
Could make it less confusing, could they, by calling it something like Tomb Raider Born Again or Tomb Raider We're Doing It Again with less pointed hits, could they? They had to call it just Tomb Raider.
Just Tomb Raider.
So now when you have to look up online, it's Tomb Raider brackets 2018.
Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider. It's just Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider.
So as
Tomb
you're probably
Raider. Yeah.
you just seeing how many times you can say it
Stuck.
before it sounds weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that.
Why
with
didn't they call it Lara Croft?
I don't know. That would have been better.
Really interesting, wouldn't it?
That would have been a much better title for this film, I feel like. It felt like it was more centred around her than the raiding of tombs.
Yeah, I feel like because the franchise is called Tomb Raider, they're now trying to just squeeze in tombs where they can, but not really making it about the tombs. Like
But
just
not
said,
really about, because I feel like about 15 to 20% of this film was actually about
raiding tombs.
the discovery, not the discovery, but the discovery of her discovering it. Yeah.
Let's get into then. So the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
What was the queen called? The Queen of Death called?
Magnawa.
Makito?
I made that up. I don't know.
Mosquito?
I think it was
Wasn't it Himiko? Himiko. Oh, he's got
well
it. He's
done.
fucking smashed it in the notebook.
Very
I
good.
don't remember if in the video game, because I played it when it came out, which was years and years ago, if
Yeah.
Himiko was in the first game. I remember the plane bit was in the first game. I remember jumping off the boat or getting off the boat was in the first game. I remember the getting off the island. Before we do that, again, we forgot. Let's do non-spoilers. If you're going to watch this, go watch it for the sake that it's Tomb Raider and go just out of interest of, is this going to be an alright video game movie?
Yeah, just go for a bit of a fun action film.
Yeah, it works fine like that, doesn't it? It's
Yeah,
not terrible. It's you can follow it and it's...
It's 90% true that it's not terrible. The start is terrible. It's very cringy. I don't believe that any of those characters would talk like that.
Tomb Raider's origins then in this, so
Yeah.
she's obviously English because in the game she's English as well.
Yeah.
Her way, where she starts off in London is very cringy. You're damn right there. It's very odd and strange. There's also some weird cameos in there, but go watch this for an easy action film.
Yeah. And nothing else.
Yeah, an
And
easy action
nothing
film,
more.
and just to see what they do with it. It's more of an interest to go see what they've done with it than anything.
Yeah.
Don't get your hopes up because it does not stop the curse of video game films. Video game films are terrible. We'll talk about this more in this episode. We'll talk about video game stuff. Yeah. But you already know it because the title's that. So I don't know why I always do an intro for these videos.
I don't know why you do because everyone knows.
And if they don't know, well,
knows from your
screw 'em.
beautiful picture.
All right. Spoilers.
Yes.
Spoilers.
You sound like you're gonna throw up.
All right. Narrative.
Yeah.
Himiko stuff.
Mhm.
Don't know if I missed a bit, but it lost me a bit at the start.
I didn't care.
Yeah, I didn't really
about it.
handle the Himiko. So with these Tomb Raider games, like the Uncharted games, like the Indiana Jones films, the idea is these archaeologists are going into these tombs or these tunnels or wherever, and there's usually going to be like a subplot about who the goddess or the mummy or whoever was.
Yeah.
Like, there's a subplot is about what they're going to find and what relevance it has. This doesn't handle that subplot very well about Himiko. Other than the end bit was relatively interesting, which said she was a carrier, or about the disease. That bit I didn't mind so much.
That.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
But up to that
Really
point, there wasn't enough about Himiko to make it interesting,
No.
or about the story of Himiko.
No.
I don't think that many.
I mean, there was a
things.
story, and they did all that bit at the beginning about her, I guess.
But it was strange. But I hate it. It felt like it was kind of like shoehorned in at the start to try and set it. Because if you put it at the start, by the point we get there later on, I've forgotten that already. Because that wasn't
Yeah, I know.
that involved into the film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that felt really separate to the rest of everything that was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the narrative, the problem is when you're taking a video game story like narrative, and the game hasn't got a great story. Don't get me wrong, but when you're taking that many hours down, and squeezing it into 2 hours,
Yeah.
it felt quite jumpy in this. It felt like everything happened everything that happened in this film were like the main parts of the game squished together. There wasn't time between any of it.
I don't even know what it was, but I feel like I agree with that, and that also there was kind of like it almost felt like there was a section missing, and I don't know what it was meant to be.
The jump between when she got to the island to when she was fighting on the island was very quick.
Yeah, no,
What
but
do you
I
mean when
mean,
she
I
got to
feel
the
like
island?
there should have been another bit in there, but I don't know what I wanted to see. I don't know. I
Just
think it.
getting
do you
used
know
to the
what-
island.
No, do you know what I think it was? I think it was that she got there. Obviously, we're doing spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you not remember my sick noise?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think it's that she finds her dad, and then they really quickly get over the fact that they're seeing each other. Where she thought he was dead, and he thought he'd never, ever see her again in his life.
He kept emphasising on the point that when she comes before, she's never been real.
She's never real.
They've said that too many times now.
I know.
I
He
get the
kept
point.
saying
He
it.
keeps
I
seeing
know.
her.
I know. But yeah, no. I think it was just. Yeah, it felt like, oh, but you are here. God.
Well,
Anyway, right, let's carry on. Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, I think it needed maybe like a day of them reconnecting. That would have been good.
Yeah.
Just a few minutes, just,
Not even positive reconnecting, just having
no,
like fighting
just having
or
some sort of,
like Rey and Luke in
some
Last
sort,
Jedi.
yeah, some sort of realisation that they were both there together. Because that is pretty.
Found him very quick as well.
It's like a 1% chance it's ever going to happen. So.
Yeah. Found him very quick.
Yeah, it's crazy that he ran past her on that entire island. What chances?
Never ran into
Yeah.
anyone else, but ran into her.
And I didn't really like how he went from being this like weird hermit man to
Back
very
to
quickly being back to
Himself.
being a lord. Yeah.
It's very much just an action movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything is very.
But I think had you put that in there, I think it would have felt really. Because it kind of sucked that he died. Like I was a bit like, oh no, but had
He was gonna always die,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
but had they had sort of that reconnection, as you say, it doesn't even have to be like a good sort of I love you, I'm so glad to see you thing. But if they had had just a bit of a moment together, at least when he went, you'd be like, oh no, and that would have given it an extra dimension, I think, because it's fine as an action film, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Just had to make it above an action film. What's that noise?
Yeah.
The bit's missing because I'm pretty sure in the game you go on the boat, like it has all the bits in London, like an intro in the game. I honestly, again, this might not be 100% correct because I cannot remember it, but I remember when you're on the boat going to the island. I can't even remember if it's about Himiko. I do not remember any of that subtext. But when you're going to the island in the game, there is definitely more than you and that one other guy.
Is there?
Lou Ren. It's not just you and Lou Ren. Either. I think he's a pretty cool Lou Ren. But I'm pretty sure Nick.
I didn't mind that it was just the two of them. I quite liked that.
It was but would you surely need a bigger crew to go out on a boat like that?
Maybe.
I know it's not a sailboat, but
No.
you'd surely need a crew for a boat like that.
You would think.
Because it is a
I
captain.
thought
as
that.
well.
I was thinking, God, how are they? Because she was like, oh, night, and then I thought, does he stay up?
You must
all
surely
the
stay up so
time.
you can, yeah.
Weird.
Um,
Must be really tired.
in the game, I'm pretty sure Nicholas... Is it Nick? What's Simon Pegg? Nick Frost. Nick Frost. I had to say Simon
yeah.
Pegg to get his name out as well. Nick Frost. I'm pretty sure he goes with them. There's a character like that on the boat with them.
Oh, really?
There's a few people on the boat, and I think one of them turns... I don't remember, but I remember being a twist, or I remember there being more... There's at least more than just the two of them on the boat. They go to the island, she has to go try and rescue them on the island.
Right.
Instead of it just being Lou Ren.
Yeah.
Lou Ren's relationship with her jumps really quick as well.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't care for her, does he? Doesn't know her, and then suddenly they like care for each other a bit
Yeah.
more. It's not terrible, like you can understand why they're the only two that went there together, but there's
yeah,
nothing of them on
and
the
they
boat
shared
really, is
that
there?
in
There's only a little
common
bit.
that they had
Dads.
That they had dads.
So they had dads.
Everyone has dads. was, because I can't remember it even a little bit. The first Tomb Raider film, like the Angelina Jolie one. How many of them are there, by the way? Is it 3? Oh, 2. Was the first one this story as well?
No.
Oh.
No, this film is based off of the game,
Off
which
of the
rebooted.
games.
The games, I think it came out in 2012 or
The
2011.
game.
This first Tomb Raider game, which was either 2011, 2012,
Yeah.
which is by Square Enix, which is, their title was in the film, so obviously they've done some work on the film, as well as the game.
Mm-hmm.
They just rebooted the character and just ignored the Angelina Jolie films. They just rebooted, because the Angelina Jolie films and the old games, I don't know if they're based on each other, but they essentially just used the character and rebooted the franchise.
Oh, so the
about
game
2012.
that this one is built off of,
Yeah,
is based on,
on nothing.
is a game that came out after Angelina Jolie's Tomb Raider films.
Yeah. The first two.
Oh,
it's
and
based
that
on,
game's
let's
not
say,
the same as the original.
So I went in
game.
this order, I'm pretty sure. You had the old PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 Tomb Raider games,
Yeah.
and you had the Angelina Jolie films that were quite a while ago.
But were they based off of the original
I have
games?
no
Oh, you
idea
don't know.
with those.
Okay. Right.
I don't know if they were. I don't think there was much story to the original Tomb Raider games,
Right.
because they were little jumpy games, platform. Not even platforms, they were proper games. But yeah, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Then in like 2012, you had Square Enix release Tomb Raider, that's what that was called as well, which was a reboot of Tomb Raider, and it's a modern game. It looks amazing, which did really well. And then they did a second one called Rise of the Tomb Raider like a couple of years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then they've just released this film based on Tomb Raider, which came out in about 2012. So this
What,
film
the first or the second game that they released?
first.
Right. Okay.
I feel like it's going to go into this thing because she said about Trinity at the end, didn't she? Of
Yeah.
this film, and I think that's a lot to do with the
And
second
Rise
game.
of the Tomb Raider, because she didn't feel much like a Tomb Raider in this, like we say. It was just more of her story.
But it's weird because the games are called Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Which is down because you would have put Rise of the Tomb Raider before Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Because this new one that they've just teased is called Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Anyway, I hope they don't do the second reboot game, like Rise of the Tomb Raider as a film, because I remember Rise of the Tomb Raider when I played it was the same story as the first one.
Oh,
just
I
sort
think
of
they're going to
reskinned.
do the same. Well, yeah, because it seems like that from the film, even though, doesn't it? It's the same. It's just the same company. She seems like she's going to go after that company, and then.
Yep. With now the guns from, I don't know why they've given her those guns that are based on the old games in the film.
Yeah,
she
I
doesn't
know.
have those guns in the remakes.
No, and
She uses guns, but she's mainly the bow and arrow and the pickaxe.
It was
Yeah,
strange as well
stick.
because she had that like long plait. It was kind of, they were trying to hint at the
Then go
first
back to the
film.
old ones,
I
yeah.
don't know. Can I just say though, as an overall thing, I didn't hate this film. Like I thought
No.
I was gonna be like, oh god, this is so awful, but I didn't hate it.
No.
It
It's
was
one of
kind
the
of
better
like-
adaptations. from a
Yeah,
video
and
game
it was
film.
kind of nice just to watch and kind of enjoy and say, I know that this isn't the best film I'm ever going to see by a long stretch, but kind of just did what... It felt like, you know, when you used to watch older films, like The Mummy, it felt like The Mummy, you kind of just enjoy them for what they are, just for a bit of fun and a bit of action and a bit of what that would never really happen, but I don't care because it's
Yeah.
funny. Yeah.
It had enough different. It had bits that were a bit not emotional. I wouldn't say so much emotionally gripping, but it had bits that were a bit sad and quiet. It
Yeah.
had bits of moments of talking. It had bits of action that were fine. Maybe a bit quick edited. Like that's the only thing I found with the action and a bit.
Had some nice locations too. I like quite a lot of them. I really loved the or the boats when she was looking for him to take her
Yeah.
across to the island. They had that whole bit with her chasing those guys down. I really loved all that location. I thought that looked really nice.
What's different to how Assassin's Creed handled it is it didn't try to take too much content and throw it all in one thing. It
Yeah.
took little bits of content and made a film
Yeah.
and expanded it from that. Instead of going, let's try and fit everything in, did the opposite and took a little bit and tried to expand it.
Yeah.
That's why there wasn't much to it, but like you said, it's a fine film. It's a fine
It's
action
just
film.
it's very simple, very easy watching. You're not going to miss
Yeah.
anything if you look away. It's just
The only thing that bothers me with that is when we were watching it, and especially at the end with the villain stuff, I thought, this is very much a story suited to a video game. Because the only thing missing from this film is playing these bits, like the
Yeah.
bits of like action. Because obviously they managed to get some of the... They didn't do it a lot, it's a shame, because I would have enjoyed more of that. The puzzles.
yeah.
You can tell they're trying to sort of translate bits and they're doing like obviously the puzzles with the colour gems and that kind of stuff, and obviously the logs that come down. They don't do masses of like action sets like that. I would have spent less time gunplay in this. I think it would be nicer had they spent less time of them showing each other shooting at each other.
Who shooting at each other?
Lou Ren.
Yeah.
And there was quite a lot of time of like all the thugs shooting at each other and all the kind of gunplay kind of stuff.
right.
I would have less of that and more tomb raiding.
Yeah, I
'Cause
don't think it was a lot.
There wasn't a lot,
shooting.
but there was enough that if you took it out, you could have fit in like another bit of tomb raiding. Like I said, the only puzzles really were the gems and then the hands of the clock on the boat, which was quite interesting. But that stuff I liked more.
Yeah.
The archaeologist side of stuff and the like puzzle solving was cooler than the action.
Yeah.
And the action, sort of like guns being shot, I would have preferred, and like running away from guns, I would prefer to watch her climb.
Yeah.
The hand-to-hand combat wasn't bad. Again, it's just too
sounded
quickly.
really creepy, by the way.
What?
I would have preferred just to watch her climb. A couple of hours watching her climb.
Watching her climb.
Oh yeah, like when she climbs. Sounded really creepy, dude.
I mean, that kind of.
I know what you mean.
action,
Yeah.
as opposed to just people going do 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 shooting
Yeah,
each
I
other.
don't know that would have been the bit to take out because there's probably only a couple of minutes of that.
Well,
But I know what you
hippy-dippy
mean.
do.
I know what
I
you mean.
think no. Maybe not take up, but that was definitely
add it
okay.
in.
We'll change the
Just add it
start
in.
then. Just minimise the start.
Yeah, that.
Don't have all
yeah,
that
take out the
exposition.
start bit.
That bike chase was not necessary. And just because she can ride a bike, I'm sorry, I ride a bike a lot. Doesn't mean I can stop fucking. I can't stop tomb raiding because of it.
No, and also,
The boxing's fine.
yeah, the boxing was interesting. I know it's kind of meant to show that she's desperate for money and she's like adventurous and stuff, but she's not going to ride a bike when she's tomb raiding.
Exactly. That's what I mean. The bike, if it's trying
Would
to
have been
show that
better
she
if it
does
was
legitimate
running.
bike. Yeah.
Why didn't they do that?
Free running.
Because that was the thing when I was like, why? How is she running this fast? How is she outrunning these people? And why is she such a good runner?
I'm sure riding a bike would affect your running, but why would you not just do
Not
free
like
running?
that, though.
No.
Yeah, well, they do
Just
a race.
do parkour, yeah.
Just
She could still be the one running away with a paint can on her back. Just make it
Yeah.
parkour, make her jump around, sort of trashing London with its paint.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't know why they didn't do that. They thought it was more generic, but then it would have made more sense. So, sense over genericism.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah,
the
that
word.
would have been fun. That would have been more fun to watch than the
And
bike thing.
if you'd filmed it well and choreographed it well, like Casino Royale. had
But
a
then
bit
I'm
of
sure we
parkour.
would have been like, why is she such a good free runner?
Well, no, but it'd be background if she was learning it. Same with boxing, because she was.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's like video games. It has that same problem of somehow these people. I know she does boxing, but somehow these people were better fighters than.
I think the
And,
thing
like, all the
was
people- all the
they had to
slaves.
show her doing some sort of combat, so the boxing, get that,
Yeah.
and they also had to show her doing something else, like active and like adventurous, but it was
It's
almost like she knew how to ride the bike because she was a bike delivery person, so that kind of wrote that off as that's why she can ride really fast. But I guess they couldn't have just shown her, oh, she's a free runner, oh, she's a boxer. Do you know what I mean?
Kind of.
The
I wonder
the
what
bike
entered
thing
boxing, though.
had an origin. They couldn't have shown her just learning two sports. It would have been like, who is this woman? She just likes to learn all these sports. It's very
They don't explain why she starts boxing either. I assume it's just makes she wants to do it,
it's just
isn't
something
it?
she likes, yeah.
Um,
And she's angry because her dad left, probably.
Yeah.
They show her getting strangled a lot of times in this. It's like 4
I
times.
thought it was going to be like the fortunate when she gets at the start in that boxing match when she's getting strangled and she's like has to tap out.
Yeah.
I thought straight away, alright, well there's going to be a later time when she's going to
Yeah.
get strangled and she's going to have to
Yeah,
like
but it happens
not
a
tap
lot.
out. Yeah, she never does that. There's never like a slow motion moment,
No.
which is good. Because when the main villain guy, forgot his name, I think it begins with V or something. Come on.
I can tell you.
They say it. I feel like it's gone ool in it, or
That was really close.
it's like vol. Or
It is a
something
V and there is a little name.
Like Quolv.
Should I just tell you?
Yeah.
It's Vogel.
Vogel.
Matthias Vogel.
When she's with Vogel, then he's like strangling her the same way the boxing match was. She just throws him straight over. And it doesn't take time on it, which is quite nice. As a character, as a Tomb Raider herself,
Yeah.
as Lara Croft, she's absolutely
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
I hate
I
how
like
many
her.
times they say Croft and they go, she's not that kind of Croft, and Croft. Oh, I'm a Croft. She's still a Croft. Croft aren't a well-known family. She's their dad.
Well, I don't know. He's a lord, so I think they are a well-known family.
Yeah,
And
they
they
always
own,
say about
like,
what
a
kind of Croft
million
she is, but it's like,
companies.
what are kind of Crofts? We've not learned about the different kinds of Croft. Of then he's rich and she's.
That's what I told you when you came back in. Remember, I specifically picked out that line because you missed it.
What that?
When she walked out and she said, "Sorry, I'm just not that kind of Croft."
But what kind of Croft?
The sort of Croft that does business deals.
How many Crofts are there that do business deals? This is what I mean. Why is that a thing?
Well, it's obviously a huge enterprise because they own about.
What, with more than one Croft?
That book also was so thick and the print was so small. She went, "Do we own all these companies?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, you own 19 million companies then, because that is about how many are in that book. That's insane." That's so stupid.
But we don't know about any other Crofts. We just know about her dad run that.
Yeah, and she says you need to carry on his work, and she isn't like, no, I'm not that kind of Croft.
No, I know, but then how can you just say it's like you can't summarise like all Crofts are like that just because that one Croft's like it.
No, she's saying she's not that kind, because that's the kind of Croft he is.
But he's not that kind of Croft. He's that kind of person. Why Croft? Do you not get my point? I'm joking.
Oh, you're so annoying. You're so annoying. Yeah, no, all right.
Yeah, but I'm only thinking because it's just for the use of the lines. You know what I'm saying? It's just they're just doing it so that
because then at the end she says.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just used to make a line out of it. That's what annoys me.
Out of all of the stuff in this film, that's what annoys you.
Yeah, it does. Because this film is terrible. That's what annoys me when things are set up like to dramatise it, like the fact they just have to say that kind of Croft, just so they can say the word Croft.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
As Lara Croft herself,
yeah.
I think she's absolutely fine. She's brilliant. She's good. Maybe one scream when she's crawling through that tunnel was like a kid scream, and that was kind of weird. The rest of the screams are fine. Like, yeah, that was weird. The rest of I like that she screamed in other bits. I love that she's ripped because you would be if you're boxing and you're fucking riding like that. You would be like ripped.
She's strange. She's really, really ripped, but really small. Like
she's skinny. That's
really,
probably why she's more ripped because
really
she's skinny. So it shows more.
True.
All that stuff. Yeah. Other than the makeup, like I said, for some reason she has mascara when she starts getting dirty. That ends up. She doesn't know she's wearing mascara, but when she gets like dirty and water,
it's when she wakes up and she's like, "Oh, where am I?" And she's in that hut, that little tent thing with Vogel. She's got mascara under her eye. Mm.
I think that's the weird jump. I think it's that she's on the island and then she's with Vogel straight away. I think that's the weird jump. Mm. I think it might be like that in the game. I can't remember. Talking about talking about the biggest problem with this for me, which I said is the same big problem with the game, which I think a lot of people will be asking. So in the reboot of Tomb Raider, you have to kill someone for self-defense. You kill a soldier, and in the game you freak out, and then she freaks out a little bit because it's really done. It's done well in this, where she's strangling him underwater, and she's kind of doing it because it's nicely done. Where I'm pretty sure that's not what you do in the game. I think you shoot him or you do something else. In this, she strangles him, and he drowns. And then she's kind of saying, don't, stop, just stop. She can't really let go because she's going to risk her own life. She lets go, and then he dies because he's fucking drowning, which it was done really well. She's a bit broke up that she's killed someone. She's never killed someone before. She's not a killer, same as in the game. After that point, she's broke up for about 2 minutes. Then she's happy killing anyone else. Like she doesn't have a problem. In the game, it's worse because you obviously have to fight because it's a game and you have to go and fight crowds of people, and she just literally puts fucking arrows through them. And doesn't react even though she's only ever killed one person. Now she's a killer. In this, she goes on and the next person she kills, I'm pretty sure she puts an arrow for that guy who's like got a gun over Lou Ren and his mates. Yeah. And the other people that they've got as slaves. She just puts an arrow for his chest. And then starts firing arrows at him and fighting. But she's never killed anyone. Yeah. I don't know about Lou Ren because he's firing a gun at him. It's just like, she wasn't broke up very much. So she doesn't phase her now. It does it in both. I thought I was hoping they'd try and deal with that a bit better. But they didn't. It's kind of like you said the stuff with her dad. She just over. It's done with. Who cares? No reaction.
I think I enjoyed it more because, like I said, it felt like an old sort of mummy film. And that kind of stuff just would happen before. But I don't know. I think sometimes you've got to choose. Like, do I want to pick this film apart and say, well, they could have done the emotional stuff really well because they could have done that better. The action stuff could have been done better. It could have been more believable. Like, when she kicked that ladder down, then jumped that gap. That was stupid. But it's like I think sometimes you've got to decide: do I just want to enjoy this film for what was there, or do I want to go, actually, that was rubbish, that was rubbish, that was rubbish? Because you could pick this apart. But
you can pick any film apart.
Yeah, but I feel like, I don't know, this just has something about it that makes me not want to do that and kind of just enjoy for what it...
Well, get out then. Go downstairs. I'll go.
No, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
still enjoyed it. We fucking I know, but I mean,
no, I know, but I mean, it had enough in there that it makes me just want to go, okay. I think she's good too. I think she's a good actress, so you don't have the sort of really terrible acting alongside. Yeah. It's the lead in a movie though, big movie.
Yeah, like I said, it's probably a good figure.
It's probably a really fun challenge too to do something like this. But yeah.
Want to leave it there then?
No, why?
I'm joking. You said you want to say anything. You didn't want to pick it apart. I'm joking. I don't know where to go from there. Character. Sound, I don't remember the soundtrack really. There's one bit I remember being like, that's alright, but then...
Yeah, I don't even remember the soundtrack. I don't think it was anything different, really.
It's a different, so... Different!
Different. No, I don't... No, not that I remember. I don't remember any point thinking, well, that's good.
No.
I think it kind of went under the radar a little bit.
How do you get handled action?
That's something I think it could have... Yeah, it could have had some more, like, oh, that was cool. I feel like if you're going to go for, like, just a fun action, there probably could have been a few more moments where you went, like, oh, that was insane.
Were there any moments that you did do that? Because I'm not sure if I was like, oh, wow. Hey,
No, that's what I mean.
No, I think I was.
No.
You've seen a lot of it in the trailer, the plane jump and the fucking boat jump off the boat and all that stuff you've already seen.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. Yeah.
All the
Kind of
big...
seen all the big bits.
Yeah.
I did like the plane bit a lot, actually. Yeah, but see, I really liked the bit then when she jumped out with the
Parachute.
with the parachute.
It was in
Yeah.
the trailer as well.
Yeah.
So annoying.
Yeah. See, if all that wasn't in there, I'd prefer it even more.
There's a bit in the game...
You look like you could smell something.
Smell the
My
fart.
senses.
There's a bit in the game where she climbs a radio tower.
Oh.
That's like one of the highlights of the film, one of like the main bits of the first game.
Oh.
To look around the island. Why didn't they put that in there?
Hmm.
That's really strange that they did. I just remembered that because I was wondering. I remember thinking before we went to go and watch it, I was like, I wonder if they're going to do the radio tower bit.
Why does she climb a radio tower?
I think she does it to look for something.
Okay.
She just I would look around the island to look for like where the boat was because there's a bit more. I think there's more time. I think you run into a team like someone from the boat before you run into Vogel.
Oh right.
I do not remember the game. Well,
Every time you start a sentence, it's like red,
you.
red.
Yeah, is it the first or second one? Climb the radio tower. It's not what I see the first one. I didn't realise. Fuck me, that's high in this.
What?
The radio tower. I'll show you after this. I'll show you the cutscene of her climbing it, and you'll see what I mean. It looks crazy. What are you staring at?
Nothing.
So you're staring at that orange juice as if it's about to spill.
Staring at your knee.
Oh, my knee. Anything else to say for it? Or should we move on to some other stuff?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
It's just an action film, and it's probably one of the better video game
Yes.
thingies. But like I said, it's fine action, but in my book, it didn't need to be made.
No.
No. Just play the game.
Didn't need it.
I know there's obviously the whole thing against video games, but just play the bloody game if you want to. Really play the bloody games.
Yeah.
That's the outcome for me.
Yeah.
Again,
I
because
don't think it's enough of a great story or an original story that if you don't
or concept even or
but,
there isn't a
but
concept.
I'm saying
in
if you
that,
don't play video games, I don't think it's something that you need to see anyway.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
That's something. Well, there's no concept there. That's what I'm saying. There's no nothing about the universe. It's just literally about a woman.
No, I know, because you were saying that, if you want to see it, then play the games. And I was thinking, yeah, but some people don't play the game, so they need the film, but you don't. This isn't a film that you need.
No, no, it is not. But the games are fun, and this is the thing with the games. There's no good. The story's no better. The game is only better than this film not because of the story, not because of anything that this film didn't like. It's about that you get to play it.
Yeah.
Is why it's better. The bits are funner when they're playing.
Yeah.
It's the thing with action films. Any action film would probably work better as a game because it'd be funner to play it. Out of 10.
6.7.
6.7.
6.7.
I'm gonna go 6.5.
Cool.
Alright.
Alright.
What we're going to talk about now, video games and remaking them or rebooting them as films or remaking them as films, how it's gone and where we think what they should do with it, what they could do, what they should never do.
Who they should cast.
Who they should cast. Who they shouldn't cast.
Me. No, they should cast me.
They should cast you for everything.
Yeah.
That's a nice compliment, wasn't it?
It was really nice. I feel loved.
Well, we'll say about the ones they have done. So obviously there's been Tomb Raider films before of Angelina Jolie, which are meant to be terrible. I cannot remember. I remember the end of the first one very well. Just her over a pit of lava. Is it lava or is it some sort of weird soul pit?
I'm not sure.
With the guy she loved, but he betrayed her because he's a fuckwit. I remember that bit. I remember her fighting mech robots.
I think people like those films though, don't they? As like a bit of a
Guilty pleasure.
yes.
Yeah, I think people do.
But
they're old action films.
But they're not good. I
And
don't.
they like
I
looking
don't
at
remember
Angelina
them at
Jolie
all.
in like a swimsuit. That's why.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I've never got the Angelina Jolie.
Have you not?
No.
Interesting.
Me neither. What? No.
We not watched many. Stop my train of thought.
What's your train of thought there?
We've not watched many. We've
No.
watched Ratchet and Clank recently. Walked out of that.
Recently? About
Recently.
2 years ago.
Was it? It's 2 years ago? Long time ago. It was
Yeah.
2 years ago. Yeah, when we watched Ratchet and Clank when that was at the cinema, we walked out of that because it was fucking terrible.
That was terrible.
That was another one I didn't need making because the film looked like the new game. They rebooted the game, and along with the reboot of the game, they made a film to accompany it. But then the game had cutscenes from the film. I am most upset about the film and the game because even though the remake was good, it was nice
You sound
playing
like you're reading this from something. What's happening?
Just talking, I don't know.
Oh,
That's up.
that's crazy. It sounded like you pre-prepared this.
Well, I'm just that good from the mind.
I know.
The problem I have with the remake of the game was great in the sense of that it played pretty well and it was nice to see it all updated and they made some bits instead of just like reskinning it, they actually remade bits of it.
Yeah.
But then they decided to cut the second half of the original Ratchet and Clank and change it for their new second half of it, the remake version of it, and they completely changed the story.
And they pooped it.
Which really, really pissed me off. And in the film we didn't even get that far because we walked out. But they just kind of changed it up. And it didn't need making, just again play the games. The concept of Ratchet and Clank, it's a nice universe. It's a very cool sci-fi universe, especially for like younger people. But they'd be playing the games. Or just bring the game back like they did. Bringing the game back was fine, other than changing the ending. The film was pointless. It didn't do
It wasn't
very well.
even like a fun children's film. You can go, oh, well, I understand. Like, there's some bits in there. It's just
No, trash.
Very
there were like one or two funny bits, but
poor and boring.
trash. What else? Angry Birds we didn't watch, but I know people enjoyed that. That's it's based off a video game, a mobile game, but it's based off a game.
Yeah, I thought when you said all that did quite well, I thought that did quite well too, but it's not on a very high percentage.
No, but I think it did well at the box office. Is what I mean. I think it did quite well.
Okay.
Other than that, really, we've not really watched them. There's obviously a lot of like Silent Hill, Resident Evil. There has been a lot of horror games that have been made. Five Nights at Freddy's will be coming in time, I'm sure. I don't know how that's going to work as a film. Resident Evil obviously had like a whole series. Obviously, people enjoyed those until the end. The last one's trashed.
Yeah.
The market's changing with it because I think they're starting to do a lot more. Like there's going to be. I mean, Rampage is in a few weeks. That's based on an old '90s game.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's based
Oh,
on a
I
video
didn't
game.
know that.
Ready Player One's obviously going to have a lot of Easter eggs based on video games next week. There's a lot of video game stuff at the moment. And then obviously we had Assassin's Creed, which was Michael Fassbender, which was horrendous because they tried to jam-pack too much in one film. I understand. I like the fact they tried to tell a new story instead of telling the ones in the games. I like that idea. There's no point just retelling a story from the games.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to put a twist on it or like sort of tell it in a different style.
Yeah.
But they did. The content was strangely like handled. It was just weird and a shit story and just total shit. It's kind of. I don't ever see the need to remake games as films ever really. But that's because I play games and I'm always
The
going to
only
be
reason I can
defensive,
ever
that's
think
why
you could
they
do
are.
it would be if it was off of like something like.
If you're expanding the universe, I get it. If you want to expand it on a different platform because you can't do it in a game, that's absolutely fine with me. But just taking the game and retelling it, especially when it's naff, is pointless. It's pointless. Especially games like so we're getting a Last of Us film and an Uncharted film. The Last of Us is a very cinematic game. It doesn't need remaking into a film because you can just if you don't want to play the game, if you don't have the console, you just don't want to play the game because you're not really into games, which hopefully most people listening to this are more into games. The 10 people that are listening to this.
If we're lucky.
Huh?
If we're lucky.
If it's just what if you don't want to play it, just watch the people put together like movie versions of the game on YouTube. You could go watch that's what we did for you because we didn't have Last of Us. I played it like when it came out.
Yeah.
I wanted you to see Last of Us, so we just watched a 2 hour. I think it was like 2 or 3. It might be more than
No,
actually.
I think it was like 4 to 5 hours.
4 to 5 hours. Sorry, about 4 to 5 hours of YouTube. You watch like a series, and we watched it in a few goes, and just watch it as a film. It worked fine. It didn't ruin any story. Everything was in there. and you loved it all the same.
I did.
We should still play it at some point again because you
I would
love it even
love
more.
to play it, yeah.
Yeah, but it works all the same.
I'd really
so
love to play that.
it doesn't need a film. I feel like if they're going to do a film, they're probably going to trash it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely dreading the Uncharted one as well.
Yeah, Uncharted obviously is going to be a big one because we've got Neil Druckmann from Naughty Dog is helping write it. I know that, and he said himself that he wants to do. Well, we know for starters, we know it's happening because Tom Holland's been cast as Nathan Drake when he's younger. But this film's obviously about Nathan Drake when he is younger, which is the protagonist of Uncharted. In case you haven't played him,
It's annoying because if he had not done anything else before, I'd be like, that's actually really good casting. But because he's Spider-Man,
it's because he's now one of a big character in a franchise character.
It's
It's kind of annoying. I like because Neil Druckmann, the guy from Naughty Dog, said like he didn't want to just retell any of the games because his point is just play the games. Is what he pretty much said. He wanted to tell a new story. I strange that they picked doing Nathan Drake when he's younger. I think it's because you have to cast Nathan Drake really well. I think otherwise because you have to get that spot on.
Who would they cast? I just don't even know.
No idea.
Keeping you up?
Yeah, you're all actually.
Excuse
You're all up.
me.
So they're going to be telling a news story. We don't know how it's going to go yet, but it's big budget, and always when you hear a big blockbuster name attached to it, it feels like it's going to be like Tomb Raider, like Assassin's Creed. It's going to be blockbuster, and it's going to focus on the wrong things. It's going to try and keep everyone pleased instead of going what it should be. Fortunately, Neil Druckmann is working it, and the people from Naughty Dog are helping on it with the writing. So hopefully they'll be like, "Whoa, no, we don't want it to be like this." The character, and they sort of have a bigger hand in it, which is nice. So we're supposedly going to be a Gears of War film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, don't know how you do that. You'd have to hire people who are on steroids for it to look anything like Gears of War.
How are they even going to do that?
I don't know why they have to. It doesn't need one. Because a lot of Gears of War is just fucking chainsawing people and shooting them. The story isn't the greatest part for me. It's it's fun to play. Halo, always. Spielberg's still supposedly working on Halo films / TV series. Haven't heard much about it recently. I don't know what's happening with that. Obviously, it had failed once because District 9 was originally a Halo film and from Neil Blomkamp, and he changed it into District 9.
So good.
I'm trying what else recently said. There's been loads that are supposedly meant to. Well, Slender Man. That's.
Oh yeah, Slender Man.
Although that's technically didn't. I don't think that originally started as a game, but I think this film's going to be kind of be based off the game.
Start as then?
A myth.
Oh right. What do you mean a myth?
It started as on like a viral kind of myth thing. The character Slender Man was supposedly Slender Man was found in pictures and stuff.
Oh right.
Yeah, and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
Interestingly, a Slender Man.
But I'd still say it was a game first.
It's still, but I think it's still going to be based. No, because it was. Well, it wasn't because the game wasn't the first Slender Man idea. The stuff in real life was the first Slender Man idea, and then they made a game from that.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
But then I would say, I'd say it's probably based off the game because the game has more content to it than the myth does. So yeah, it probably is based off of that.
Oh, okay. Alright, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, like I said, Five Nights at Freddy's probably getting one. They like doing it with horror films, horror games a lot.
They said they were going to do that, didn't they?
Yeah, but that's going to go. I'm pretty sure Blumhouse are doing Five Nights at Freddy as well, which obviously won't do a lot of decent horror, like popular horror at the moment, big budget horror, including Get Out. I don't know if they've done anything else recently or are doing stuff. I think that might be Witcher TV series for Netflix. That's the one I'm most excited for.
I am looking forward to it, but I hope it's going to be good.
Yeah, don't want to trust that.
Obviously.
I hope that I'm going to like it.
I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope it's rubbish. I'm just so excited to see who they're going to cast. And I think that's half the time when they make these films. I always think half the thing is that they get the hype around it because people are excited how they're going to do it or who they're going to cast mainly.
Yeah.
And they want to see that particular actress or that particular actor. Oh no, they're both actors, aren't they now? They want to see that actor in that role. And that's why they go and see it, I think, half the time. Like, I was interested to see what Alicia Vikander would be like as Tomb Raider.
I haven't seen her enough stuff, I don't think.
I've seen her in loads.
Yeah. Hopefully that one's going to be the best.
Yeah.
Do you have, if I said to you right now, what games would you like to see? Or if you had to submit and have games turn into films, what games would you think work best or would like to see as a film? And can you think of any casting
None
ideas?
of them. Leave them as game. No, kidding. Probably just the indie games that we played, to be honest.
Like what?
I think that Oxenfree would be interesting.
You could play around with that a lot. I think if you moulded that and changed some plot details,
yeah,
you could
but kind of
Annihilation
leave
that.
it slightly in the kind of form that it's in.
What do you mean?
Kind of. Well, just have it like.
An animated film for it would be quite nice.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, just have it still feel like they're kind of making choices constantly, but I can't explain what I mean really.
We don't change the dialogue system much. Do you mean?
Yeah,
Like have a
and
conversation, stay up the same.
and I also think it would be cool to have, to just have, you know how in the game it's sort of what's on the screen is what's on the screen, and you can't like turn the screen to look around. It's just what's there.
Yeah.
And it's only when that allows you to keep walking that you can see what's next.
What's more like
It'd
it's
be really
a platformer.
Yeah, it'd be really cool if they. Yeah, I know, but in some platform games you can still walk forward. You can't in this.
What do you mean? It scrolls along with you.
Yeah, I know, but you can't.
Side scroller.
Yeah, but it won't like let you go. It won't just let you keep walking for ages, will it? You
Well,
couldn't
no,
just
it's
go and walk around the map.
No,
It's just what's on the screen. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I kind of get what you mean, but you're still because the map has edges.
Huh?
But the map has edges as well.
Yeah, no, I know, but I mean, like in like in Limbo, you couldn't just walk all the way to the end, could you? You have to do stuff as you go to let you carry on further. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if they played around with the way that they filmed it, and it didn't sort of show the surroundings a lot. It just kind of showed.
Kept you to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To a small location. I think it would make it feel quite creepy.
Yeah, I agree. I think they can make it very atmospheric if they do good music for it as well.
And
Use
it's
the
really
original
scary.
music.
And it's really trippy. Like you can't really work out what's real and what's not real. Like that bit where she stands in the window and then just drops to the floor, and then she's alive again. That was so freaky.
Yeah.
I think it could be really
You'd have
scary.
to make it glitchy looking, which would be really cool. You could do that easily.
Yeah.
You could get, like I said, like Annihilation, give it some trippy visuals.
It'd be
Give it
good.
a cool score. Give it, I think they're called like Disaster
But
something.
really, really good score. Yeah,
Get the people who do the It Follows score to do it.
Yeah. And the trailer music for It. That, oh my god, I didn't know you were doing it at the same time, and it sounded really weird in my headphones. Did you see my eyes go then? Like,
Yeah, that's a good one. Who would you cast as the main girl in Oxenfree the movie?
myself.
I thought you said Marcel.
Marcel. I don't know, because it'd have to be someone quite
Someone
young.
quite young. Yeah.
Someone I don't know.
Chloe Moretz.
Oh yeah, she's my favourite. Is that her name?
Yeah.
She's an idiot.
The
No,
girl
it's
from
Chloe
Kittens.
Grace. That's why.
Okay, Chloe. Alright, anyway.
I thought it was Mortez. Oh, I'm an idiot.
Yes. Maybe it is, maybe I've got it wrong.
She is rubbish.
Who would you... Can you think of anyone?
I wouldn't cast anyone famous.
Ty... I don't know her name.
I'd cast
Girl
some-
from...
I'd cast someone unknown.
Someone unknown.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of spoils this game. Who would you cast?
Alright.
Somebody unknown. The girl from... Sorry, my flies were down there. Just had to
Oh, I
go
wonder
up.
what that is. Oh.
Don't know why when I went to the toilet before we started this podcast. What's the girl from Orphan Black? That girl. She's pretty a bit
too
older
old.
now.
Too old.
Too old. You're someone who's still a teen, weren't you?
Way too old.
Why don't you get a Disney girl? Selena Gomez?
Oh, yeah, she's too old now too.
You need somebody younger. I don't know who's...
How
The girl from Logan. She's not English.
It doesn't matter.
Who else?
Yeah, girl from Logan.
I could predict who would be cast as it.
Go
The
on.
girl from The Witch.
Oh my god, that's exactly who I thought of when
Or
you...
the girl
when
or
you said
thingy
who would be
from
cast.
Game of Thrones.
Which one?
Younger one. Youngest one.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
she's too old.
No, but if I was saying if someone was to cast this film, I guarantee
Yeah.
it would be it. We should probably move into another idea.
Yes.
Any others?
What's yours?
What's mine?
You tell me one.
I sort of thought Firewatch would work alright as a film. You could wrap that up in 2 hours
Yeah, that would be a great film.
and make it creepy and have a good atmosphere. It needs to be subtle. I don't want it to be a blockbuster. I want it to be quite a small release. And you would need barely any budget for it other than the fires at the end. But you wouldn't need to
Yeah.
show the fires. You could just have smoke.
Yeah.
Find a beautiful location for it. And it's
You could
cool
say
just
find
to
a beautiful lady.
find a beautiful lady to
There's
play.
no lady in it. There's no lady in it.
Yeah, get someone good in the main role, someone chubby, because he's chubby in it, and it'd be good to just have someone who looks normal in it. And then you just got radio. And that's it, you're sorted. Be very good. You could add some bits, you could take away some bits, you could mould the story, not mould the story, but you could sort of take out some stuff.
Yeah.
And also add some new other creepy stuff, like when you see the dude at the start, or towards the start, you could have a bit more like that, or some other bits of movement that are creepy.
I think it would work really nicely.
I do. If you did like It Comes at Night, I never showed anything.
Yeah, and a bit, you were never really here, just all the silent bits and just bits of him just being.
Yeah.
And sort of sitting up in the. Be nice to have like a whole few minute scene of him just sat up there at night, just looking for fires.
More in the Watchtower. I like up in the Watchtower. It's creepy and also
creepy
cozy. It's both.
I know exactly what you mean.
Who would I cast? I don't know.
Joaquin!
Okay. I guess people can put on weight, but you want someone quite sort of normal, wouldn't you? Someone quite with a decent voice. They've all gone from my head, so I don't know. Do you know who I can imagine being cast in it?
Go on.
David Harbour, Stranger Things.
Oh, that's a great... Yeah, definitely. Perfect.
You can imagine that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that would work. I'd actually like to see him doing that.
I could totally see this happening.
Let's pitch it.
To who? To David Harbour.
Write a script for it.
Shall we call him? I've got his number. I don't. It's 555. Oh God. What do we think they will make?
With what in the future that they
Yeah.
have already? It's funny because I can see Kidnap on your screen from the last podcast.
From the last podcast we
did last week.
What do you think that they will make?
That they haven't already said.
Do you think they'll make a Horizon?
You know, fucking.
They'd have
budget.
to have a massive budget. That's the only thing.
Crash Bandicoot because its popularity.
Yeah, probably will.
Animated film. I would not be surprised if they did an animated film. Of
Yeah,
Crash.
like a children's film.
That's a good question. Do I think they'll do anything? I think Firewatch actually might already be in the making. I think there's rumours of
Seriously?
that. So yeah.
David Harbour.
It's going to be David Harbour. I've called that.
I bet.
Or Ron Perlman. And the Hellboy will do.
No, he seems a bit too old.
Yeah, I'm joking.
He's way too old, actually.
I don't know. Mass Effect, maybe? Again, big ass budget, but I
was
imagine
gonna
that
say,
being
they'd
like
need
a
a
Netflix
massive-
series.
Yeah, I can see that as a series. I said film, so no, I didn't really.
Papers, Please.
Gone Home would be what?
Papers, Please.
What's that?
It's the one when you look through documents at an airport
Oh.
and you have to decide whether you should have let people through or not.
What
Essentially, I
about-
played it.
What about Candleman?
Didn't play it, watched literally a trailer for.
What's the toast one as well? Bread something.
I
Or
can't remember
toast.
what the toast one is. I don't know actually that they haven't already said they might make a film for. I'm trying to think of stuff where it's really like sort of low key and it's not got crazy amounts of.
I was going to
design.
say Gone Home, but I feel like that film there's probably a film like that.
I don't think there's enough content there for a film, if I'm
No.
honest with you, because you walk.
No,
around
but
a
that'd be a
house
good
and
thing
it's-
to expand, is what I mean.
Yeah, it would. To a mansion.
Yeah.
Or either mansion. Your turn anyway to give me a game that you'd want to.
I just say one.
What? Gone
Say
Home.
Gone Home? No. Not Gone Home.
I still think Bioshock could work if you did style over substance. Even though there is substance, but if you did like a really stylistic noir style.
Speed Racers.
Speed.
That could be a really good film.
That's the kind of thing where you get a film that is really poorly plotted.
but like I mean like a really over stylized like Scott Pilgrim type thing where it's like all these people and they're good runners but they all meet for like an underground sort of club and they all dress up in ridiculous outfits and they run.
Who would you cast?
Who would I cast?
Real life runners to make it even more.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean though? It'd be
Yeah, no, I
crazy.
do.
That'd be quite a cool film.
Sounds like Tron.
Yeah, that kind of
Surely
thing.
Tron's a video game movie. Tron's a
film.
game.
Yeah, yeah.
So surely Tron is based on a video game.
Yeah.
And Tron's alright.
Yeah.
Tron Legacy's okay.
Yeah.
Why is that not on any of the lists I looked
I
at?
don't know. I'm not saying that would be a good one. I was just trying to think of something
Say interesting.
alternative.
No, that's fair enough. It was a good one to say. If you've never played Speed Races, then go play it. It's quite fun.
That is a really fun.
Fun.
It's a really fun. It's a really fun. A really fun.
What else have we played recently? So yeah, Horizon were too much in there, to be honest, for a film.
What about pool world championship? You could have people like actually in a pool competition.
Portal, they're meant to be doing as well. J.J. Abrams is meant to be producing a Portal film. That would be a good one.
That could be good, but I feel like they're gonna mess it up.
It's got to have puzzles in the film.
It's got to have so much work put into it.
I think you need to have the puzzles in it, and I think you need to have Stephen Merchant doing a voice again. Anything else? Anything at all? Should we leave it there? Have you got any other good ones to say about? I said Bioshock would be quite nice if you had a good lead.
Bioshock would be awesome. Bioshock Infinite would be even better.
If you cast it decently, and because if you made it like a noir film, it would be interesting. Other than that, you just leave them alone. Not that. Should we leave it there for this week?
Sure.
Just a nice short one. If you have any ideas and you actually want to leave a comment, because Ivor leaves a comment,
Please leave us a comment. We never get comments.
Leave us a comment for what you'd like to see as a video game movie.
Yeah.
No news this week. Do you know why? There's no news this week
because
we've had to record this. Yeah, we've had to record
the news
this
is that we
early.
fly out in a couple of days and we're really excited.
Yeah, we're going away. We're going Tomb Raiding after we just watched Tomb Raider.
Yeah, we're going Tomb Raiding and we're going to go speed racing and we're going to go...
Fire watching.
And we're going to gone home.
After all. That would be Bioshocking.
And it will be infinite.
Great.
Good.
Fuck, I thought I ended there. Yeah, no news this week, I'm afraid, because we don't know what it is yet.
No.
Well, see you next week, punks.
Have a good week. Not as good as ours, because we're going to be Tomb Raiding. Bye.